This is the Yankees POSTCAST, your instant game reaction for the New York Yankees. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
All right, the Yankees' winning streak is over. It dies at 7. White Sox beat the Yankees on the south side this afternoon 3-2. Lenyn Sosa breaks up a 2-2 tie in the bottom of the 8th inning off Tim Hill with a solo home run. It made it 3-2, and that was your final. Meanwhile, Aaron Judge also hit a home run today. History in the process. We will explain coming up. Meanwhile, bad news away from the Yankees because both the Red Sox and Blue Jays won. So the Yankees lose ground to both in addition to their loss to the White Sox. Hello, everybody. I'm Jay Berman. If you're a New Yorker, you might recognize my work. I've spent more than 2 decades in the biz, everything from TV to web to radio. Glad to have you aboard. You can follow me on X as well, at Jay Berman, Jayberman. Welcome to the Locked On Yankees postcast, both on the Locked On Yankees YouTube channel and the Locked On Yankees podcast feed. The postcast gives you a place to chat after every game. We're part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team, every single day. And we are off.
This is what you'll be talking about.
So as we said, the win streak is over. It ends at 7. The Yanks were actually on the verge of some pretty good numbers. An 8th consecutive win would have been their 15th in their last 19. Obviously, that didn't happen. However, they finished the streak with 9 consecutive road wins. That's the first time they've done that since 1998. Now, if they had won 10 straight road wins, it would have been the first time they've done that since 1994, the strike-shortened season. So again, Yanks were oh so close. Despite the loss today, New York, since August 15th, best record in baseball. They're now 12-4 since August 15th. The reason we use that as a benchmark is because prior to the 12-4 mark on August 15th, the Yanks had lost 22 games out of 38. So by contrast, that was the worst record in baseball. So it's been quite a month and a half for the Yanks. And obviously the schedule has lots to do with that. We'll get to that coming up because, as you know by now, it gets a lot tougher. Now, the Yankees lost the first 3 of 4 to the Red Sox. If we go back a couple of weeks, they take the final there. Then they take 3 games from Washington and the first 3 from the White Sox on the south side of Chicago. That adds up to 7. Yanks failed to get the sweep against Chicago. Remember, it was a 4-game set, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And the Yanks, again, win the first 3, lose the last one, and the win streak ends at 7. As we said, they're still 12-4 since mid-August. So really, despite today, still the hottest team in the sport. Now, as we said, the Blue Jays won and the Red Sox won. So the Yanks back to 3 behind the Blue Jays in the American League East. And in regards to the wild card in the American League, the Yanks are now a half game up on the Red Sox, who again won today. The Blue Jays beat the Brewers and the Red Sox beat the Pirates. As for Aaron Judge, here we go with some history. Career home run number 358. And by the way, Judge had 3 hits, a triple shy of the cycle. Judge, career home run number 358. Why is that significant? Well, because it ties him with Yogi for 5th place on the all-time Yankee home run list. Here are those 5. Well, now we'll count them 6. Babe Ruth, Mickey Mantle, Lou Gehrig, Joe DiMaggio, and now Judge and Yogi Berra. Next up on the list for Judge, of course, is DiMaggio, who's in 4th place. What's interesting about this is those top 5, Ruth, Mantle, Gehrig, DiMaggio, and Berra, have been in those 5 slots untouched since 1966. So it's been several generations since anyone has cracked the top 5 in the Yankee home run list. Well, now Judge is up there. Pretty soon, he's going to be in 5th place all by himself which means so long to Yogi. Again, home run number 358 for Judge. As for the rest of the lineup, not much. Yanks had just 6 hits, and half of them to Judge, which means only 3 other players had a hit. Cody Bellinger had a hit, despite the fact that he struck out on what he didn't think was strike 3 to end the game. Ahmed Rosario had a hit. Anthony Volpe had a hit. And speaking of Anthony Volpe, he's up next. Quite a series. Now, what's interesting about this is we told you the Yankees coming in were red hot. Unfortunately for Anthony Volpe, the exact opposite was true before hitting the road for Chicago. He was on a 1-for-38 stretch coming into the series against the White Sox. Well, he turned it around. Now, these aren't lights out numbers, world record breaking numbers, but considering where he was in a 1-for-38 slump, easily the coldest hitter in all of baseball, well, he goes 6-for-14 with a home run and 5 RBIs in the series. So kudos to Anthony Volpe, who gets his average, believe it or not, up to 210. 210, but comfortably away from the interstate. As we said, the Yanks managed just 6 hits. They struck out 10 times. Cody Bellinger struck out 3 times in the loss, including, obviously, the last pitch of the game, which looked a little high and inside, but there were plenty of calls the Yankees got to balance it out, if you will. You never like to say that, but it's true today. All right, Luis Gil got the start, 5 1/3, 4 hits, 2 earned, 2 walks, 7 Ks. He did allow a home run. He threw 98 pitches in 5 1/3. Now, as for Fernando Cruz, he looks back to the way he was all the way before he got hurt. Another inning and 2/3. So he gets 5 outs, 14 pitches to get 5 outs, struck out 2. His ERA now 2.65. And again, boy, does that lengthen the bullpen with Fernando Cruz pitching well. As we said, Hill 5 1/3, Cruz an inning and 2/3. And then unfortunately, Tim Hill, who's been so good, gets the first 2 batters out in the 8th, both lefties. Both lefties. The righty, Lenyn Sosa, gone. So it just goes to show sometimes you got to stick with your lefty against a righty, and it just doesn't work. It didn't work today. Again, 3-2 the final score. Yanks are 76-61, and as we said, they are now 3 back of the Blue Jays in the division and just a half game up on the Red Sox for the top wild card spot in the American League. Remember, the top 2 wild card finishers in each league will play each other in the wild card round. All 3 games will be in the number 1 ranked team's ballpark. Right now, that would be the Yankees and the Red Sox for 3 games in the Bronx. How about that? Wouldn't that be special? It's one of those, yeah, we like wild card rounds as 3 games, but because it's the Yankees Red Sox, you want it to go 7, which of course it wouldn't. But we still have an entire month to play, all of September, so it should be fun. Again, today's the last day of August. Tomorrow, Labor Day, September 1st, the final calendar month of the regular season. All right, we have our pitching probables lined up for the Houston series, and obviously we will get to the schedule. Yanks are off tomorrow, which is weird considering it's a holiday. Lots of day games tomorrow. Yanks are off in Houston Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. We'll get to the schedule coming up. All right, hey, Yankees fans, are you still paying full price for gas? Well, stop leaving money behind. Get real cash back every time you fill up with the free Upside app. Simply download the free Upside app in the App Store or Google Play right now and start earning cash at the pump today. Use my limited time promo code SEASON and get an extra 25 cents back per gallon on your first fill up. Now, you could make up to $300 a year just from buying the gas you already needed. How about that? At first, I thought it was too good to be true, but it's totally legit. Real people are getting paid just to make their daily commutes, and you can too. Plus, you can cash out anytime to your bank account, PayPal, or an e-gift card for Amazon and other brands. Don't let this offer drive on by. Download the free Upside app now using my limited time promo code SEASON for a limited time 25-cent per gallon bonus. That's promo code SEASON. Offers vary by user and location. Go to upside.com for terms and conditions. All right, up next, FanDuel. The NFL season almost here, just a couple of days away, and FanDuel is making sure you're ready for kickoff with a can't-miss offer. Right now, new customers can bet just $5, and if your bet wins, you'll get $300 in bonus bets to use across the app. I love using FanDuel because it fits however you like to bet. Player props, building a same-game parlay, or even jumping in live as the action unfolds. It makes every game more exciting, whether you're watching your team or just keeping an eye on your fantasy lineup. It's quick, easy, and the best way to add a little more energy to Sundays. So, are you ready to play? Well, download the FanDuel app now by visiting FanDuel.com to get started. That's FanDuel.com to place your first $5 bet. All right, this episode is brought to you by Prize Picks, the daily fantasy platform that lets you turn your football predictions into real rewards. Preseason is already heating up and college football isn't far behind. It's the perfect time to lock in your season-long, more or less picks for the 2025 football season, all before week 1 kicks off. Whether you've got your eye on big-name quarterbacks or breakout running backs, Prize Picks makes it easy to get in the game. I've used Prize Picks for a few seasons now and love how simple it is. I can get a lineup in before my coffee finishes brewing. Preseason picks help me get a feel for how the year could go. It's like a fun warm-up for the full season. The flex play option is a total game changer. Even when one of your picks misses, you still doubled my money. Download the Prize Picks app today. Use code LOCKEDONMLB to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code LOCKEDONMLB to get $50 in lineups after your first $5 play. Prize Picks. Run your game. All right, we are back, and it's time for your favorite segment.
This is the Locked On Player of the Game.
All right, as we said, it's Aaron Judge who hits another home run number 358, ties him with Yogi Berra for 5th on the all-time Yankee home run list. As we said, Ruth, Mantle, Gehrig, DiMaggio, and Berra have been 1 through 5 in the Yankee home run list since 1966. How about that? Really amazing stuff. The top 5 has not changed since then. All right, now it has, because Aaron Judge is tied with Yogi Berra at 358 career home runs. So, of course, Aaron Judge is your player of the game. Yanks had just 6 hits, 3 of them, a single, a double, and a home run for Aaron Judge. He was great, upped his season average back up to 324. Obviously, he has not been 100% since returning from the elbow injury, but perhaps this gets him back into the groove. He had a good series in Chicago, and we'll have to see now if he can move forward with it. Speaking of moving forward with it, how about the Houston Astros? They are up next for the Yankees Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Remember, no game tomorrow. Tuesday night, Wednesday night, and Thursday night in Houston. Now, we don't have the probables for the Astros. We do for the Yankees. Max Fried will pitch on Tuesday in the series opener. Will Warren will go on Wednesday in game number 2. Carlos Rodon will go on Thursday in the final game. After the 3 with the Astros in Houston, back home, 3 with Toronto, 3 with Detroit, before 3 in Boston. So, quite a run for the Yankees, stacking up those wins against inferior opponents. Unfortunately, they have not been great against opponents better than or even with, at least record-wise. Yanks haven't been great. In fact, they've been terrible, specifically against the Blue Jays and the Red Sox. Well, we'll have to see their nemesis, the Astros. Then we have to see Toronto, the Tigers, and the Red Sox. All brutal. But with that said, and this is where any idea of the Yanks not making the playoffs, you can just flush right now. After the games with the Astros, Blue Jays, Tigers, and Red Sox, the Yanks finished with Baltimore, the White Sox, and Baltimore. So you can bet they're going to rack up the wins there. The question is, do they do it against the good teams? We'll have to wait and see, because to be honest, they haven't as of yet. Should be very interesting to see. All right, it's another big moment on Locked On. College football fans, Locked On and Fire TV present College Football Kickoff, your ultimate college football weekly preview. Drake Toll of Locked On Big 12 leads the conversation alongside two-time AP Coach of the Year, Gary Patterson, former college star Jesse Holley, and Locked On's local experts. A college football preview only Locked On can do. Catch College Football Kickoff every Thursday throughout the season only on Fire TV. And of course, we want to mention our partners in crime over at Locked On Yankees, the great Stacey Gotsulias and Brian McKeon. Again, all the stuff at Locked On Yankees is there, so follow, subscribe, and enjoy. Yanks lose today. Blue Jays win. Red Sox win. So as we speak, as of this very moment, the Yanks are 3 back of the Blue Jays in the division, a half game up on the Red Sox for the top wild card spot in the American League. Monday, no game. We're back with you Tuesday. Yanks are in Houston. Should be fun. Happy Labor Day, everyone.